Hi folks, it's a while since I did an unboxing video. Been pretty hectic January, but couldn't resist it. Went to the Steam workshop, needed a car, needed a fix on rFactor 2, and found the Ginetta G60 LMP1 by Global Endurance Modding. You can find it on the workshop and Hazja 33's workshop. It's an amazing car actually. It's got quite an interesting history. It's not the hybrid LMP1, it's a LMP1 with a V6 and a twin turbo engine, which was built for the 2018 season, but it never really got much traction. There's some good drivers involved in the project, but I think it ran out of money during the COVID. But if you go down, you scroll down, all the information about the car, and you can see some excellent screenies which just give you a bit of the atmosphere. Again, a superb introduction, and I must say incredible insights from people that are really impressed. So this was a natural car for me to take on, the AEVR engine, which is basically a V6 with a twin turbo. The Global Endurance Modding guys are amazing. Look at their notes. You can go and read all about the car, and if you have any questions, any problems, they sort you out. And this is all free, guys. This is free. This is a labor of love. And of course then there's this engine that I thought I'd go and have a look at. It's a V6. I'm hearing around 600, 700 horsepower, but I'm not sure. I can't verify that. So I decided to take the car and go to the incredibly bad, let's call it really shit, interface that is now the new user interface. The Studio 397 believe is going to resurrect this sim, which is so fantastic in all elements of physics and immersion, but horrendous user interface. But anyway, clicking around, I selected that car. I want to customize it, have a good look at it. Now for the life of me, I couldn't get rid of this panel on the left, enter, escape, space bar, nothing. So you have this truncated picture, which is really, again, rFactor 2. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the car is incredibly well detailed. It looks beautiful. I mean, it's so well made. And there you have it. I was ready to take it to my favorite track, which is of course Watkins Glen. I love that track as a test track. I decided to go the boot version, but without the chicane, because I wanted to test the top speed and just give it legs. It's unboxing, so I'll take it and drive it wherever I really want, where I feel that I'm going to maximize my immersion and also get the most out of the car. So there it was, Watkins Glen, off we were. How the future unboxing videos will be run by me is simple. It's 1 hour with a car that I've never driven before on a track I really know well. So I know Watkins Glen really well, went to the car. Nothing I'm going to change much on the setup. Maybe I'll change the fuel to 33 liters, which I do with all cars. And then perhaps I'll mess around with the tires, because there's that glitch, that hack where you reduce the tires to minimum tire temperature. And then the brakes I'll leave exactly the same. What I'll do with the chassis is just alter perhaps the angle of my steering wheel, reduce it to about 12 or 13 degrees. That's all I touch, because this car, any car, must be plug and play. You buy it, you want to drive it, it must be good. So with that in mind, that's the setups I'm using. So there we go, heading out of the pits. Nice interior, all I need on the wheel, everything, revs, all sorted out. Going to go out and do some installation laps, see how this thing drives, and then from there give it a blast with a few setup tweaks that might come from this first little stint. But nice throaty sound, you feel ensconced in the car. You really feel immersed immediately, especially when you hit the gas there. Listen to that, it's beautiful. Oh, awesome. I didn't know V6 twin turbos made this kind of noise. There you go. picks up a head of speed here, touching 300 k's right at the end, 300 k's an hour, and I come on the brake. But I was soon to realize you don't need to brake that early with this car. But it's just so much traction, so much grip. It's like a Formula 1 car, seriously. It's got so much grips. You just turn it, and of course rFactor physics just do all the work in the background. You just feel it. The car feels good. And that's just the opening lap. I mean, this is just the warm-up lap. I'm really feeling confident in the car. Like I don't on other sims. You know, I do a lot of sim iRacing these days with the South African League of Masters, who are really, really good. And honestly, I hate that sim, but I do it because of the racing. When you drive this thing and you just feel it, that it does everything correctly, that you can put it on the curb and it actually does what you expect it to do. You know, whatever the physics is, whatever they're doing, just feels right. And this car, because it's like a Formula 1 car, it's so potent. Really, it's just, I'm actually thinking, is this real? I mean, it's so fast. And I'm sure it is, because it's an LMP1. And of course, LMP1 is a lot faster than LMP2s I've been driving around here, which are actually underwhelming, to be honest with you. Very fidgety and finicky for a car it's an LMP2. With LMP1, this Ginetta is absolutely crazy. It's just, the handling is phenomenal. The amount of speed you can take into the corners and then, boom, hit the gas. It's really steering it with the throttle. It's just, I'll tell you, I'm gobsmacked driving this thing. It's absolutely wonderful. A proper experience, really, seriously. Predictable, you get on the dirt, predictable. It's all, you know, it's there. It's everyone else follows when it comes to the physics, really. This sim, the graphics are horrendous. Looks like, I don't know, Minecraft or whatever those square things are. But you're so immersed on the track, you're so immersed in the driving, that that's inconsequential, because ultimately the track surface and all that works so well, and you feel it with the controller. The force feedback is incredible. And this car, I mean, this car is just ideal for this. I mean, you can just carry so much speed, turn it, it's got so much grip. It's Formula 1 with a cover, really. Honestly, it's absolutely incredibly fast. So fast that I'm actually going to take it to Spa and actually compare it with the real times. It needs to be compared, because this is astonishingly quick. But again, it is a Formula 1 car with a body, so it should be quick. It should be incredibly quick. But it's got so much grip. Is incredible too. That's why they don't race them in these tracks. Guys would die regularly. That's why they need a chicane. It's just absolutely, look at that. And then you hit the curb and boom, rFactor does the rest for you. Absolutely spot on. So where was I at this point of my unboxing? I'd done the laps. I feel there's a lot more in the car. I can be a lot more aggressive if I do some things like soften stuff up and maybe hit some apexes at some point. Gonna say I could probably do a high 24 before the end of this unboxing. So let's see. You know, high 24, low 25, because that's the goal I'd set myself. So here's my first attempt coming up, lap time. Bear in mind, this is like my 4th or 5th hot lap on this track. I haven't on this car, so we'll talk about the aliens later, but right now we're just focusing on what lap times I can do.
That was a 1:27.97.
27, I knew immediately there was 2-3 seconds in that at least. Pushing it to the max. Again, huge downforce. You know, you're taking this in 6th, and still you've got grip. Still you've got unbelievable turning. So about 50 minutes into the session, I've got one more shot at giving this a hot lap. I'm sniffing a 24, but I haven't quite got it all together yet. It normally takes me about half a dozen laps to a dozen laps to get up to speed, and made a few tweaks on the car, made it softer all around, and now I'm going to try it, know the track a bit better. You can almost take this thing flat out in 6th. It's amazing. You know, once you get the hang of it. Just keep it closer to the apex. Even could have kept it much closer there. Again, you're taking this thing in 4th and almost flat out, and you come on the gas really early, and then you know, just flat out. And through here, you're driving it on the throttle, and that's beautiful. And then nice, again, a bit too wide. Caught the edge there, but it got it on the sand, but again, it doesn't flick you off or do something stupid. It does predictable stuff. You can still save it at that speed. And again, very fast third. Maybe hitting the apex there would have got me half a second. No, 2/10, I'd say a couple of tenths. And again, you know, just very believable. Wants to lose the rear, but you tuck it back in and just flatten. It's got such amazing aero. You know, you can just see it. It just hugs. Just wants more horsepower even. And there we go.
125.28.
Okay, not quite what I wanted, but anyway, there you go. And it crashes well too. And I didn't get hurt, so that was cool. It's extremely drivable out the box with a default setup. That was quite amazing because, you know, a lot of these developers don't realize that you've got to have a drivable setup to enjoy the car. And out the box, it was drivable. It wasn't fantastic, but it was drivable and believable, and you knew what you needed to do to the car, and you did what you wanted, which I went and softened it, and it was very predictable. It did exactly what I expected it to do. So where does it fit? I think in terms of what they've achieved with this mod is it's a very, very easy car to drive, but I think it's a very, very difficult car to drive on the limit. So if you take my times, which are 25s, low 25s, maybe 24s, I'd say aliens would tickle 22s, 21s. You probably find guys will probably do a sub 20, but it would be amazing for leagues because of the very drivability of it and how predictable they are. I've driven the Eureka LMP2, which I compared to this, and this car is much more drivable, to be honest with you, much more, and it shouldn't be because the Eureka's got less power. So this is like a mini Formula One, and I'd get it. It's free, you know. It ticks, like I said, it ticks every single box in terms of immersion, speed, drivability, handling, everything. So this is one you should get. I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys.